As I sat typing up my notes for today, it was about 30 degrees outside with a wind chill factor of about 27. And I was searching for quotes and images to use for today. I'm still sniffling. And after a while of searching, it all started to look and sound the same. Hope, believe, trust, blah, blah, blah. I lifted my eyes from the computer for just a second, and my couch in the living room faces this big picture window. And when I looked out of the picture window, in the cold, dark stillness of the morning, I heard songbirds. Without even thinking, my eyes filled up. And I felt a huge expansion in my heart. And I thought, I get it. I get it now. As usual, Spirit had to keep it simple for me. And I realized the simplicity of that message. No matter the depth of the darkness that surrounds you, or your inability to feel the warmth of the sun in your heart, you must first get still and be present to hear that song of hope. It's always there. The year was about 1997. I was newly relocated to Virginia from my home state of New Jersey. In the house. My first husband had left me to lead a completely different life. And I had 3 small boys under the age of 7. I was a stay-at-home mom, therefore unemployed, and completely dependent on him for support. I lived in the very wealthy suburb of Great Falls, and yet often I had to choose between food and electricity. We'd lose power, and I'd say to the boys, they must be working on those lines again. Or we'd lose cable, and I'd say they must have hit a line while doing construction on that new project down the road. During that period, I felt no hope, only fear. But there bubbled deep within me a resilience that I didn't know I had, honestly. So that was my first gift. I brought my boys into the doctor's office one day for a checkup. And there was a help wanted sign at the receptionist window. And I said, you can take that sign down. I'll take the job. How cocky was that? I'm a bit embarrassed by that now. But they knew that only someone who felt hopeless would have that kind of gumption. And I got the job. And anything not covered by insurance wound up being written off. Double blessing. And I'm sure that you've all had a situation where you felt things just couldn't get worse, and yet here you are today. Things did get better, didn't they? My next gift came in the form of my now husband, Chris. I don't call him my current husband, that makes him nervous. Despite my efforts to warn him that he didn't want all the baggage that I came with, convinced me that I was worth loving. And so were my boys, and that love has never stopped. And it's because of him that I'm able to even stand here today. Said I wasn't going to cry. Because he's enabled and supported my journey. He was that spark of hope that illuminated my path so that I could see who I was clearly. What does hope require of all of us? It requires faith. Faith that there is always a reason and a lesson for what is brought into our lives. It requires trust. When we have faith, it's easier to trust that we are seen, we are heard, and we will be cared for. And when we trust, it enables us to surrender and to let go of the reins of the need to try to control the outcome so that what we need can be brought to us without interference. Faith, trust, surrender. Difficult, yes? Challenging? You bet. But this is where our growth comes from. We came here not to have it easy. We came here to learn and to grow, and that requires occasional hardship. But when we have the ascended perspective that all experiences only serve to help us learn and grow, we can trust that everything passes and the lessons eventually become clear. Hope asks you to stand by and wait for the miracle. My dear friend B gave her sermon on not quitting before the miracle, and that is the very act of hoping. Hope is the very thing that keeps us going. When we hope, we become inspired or in spirit, with visions of possibilities, and we feel that glimmer of hope and excitement. These visions are glimpses of potential threads to be woven into the tapestry of our journey, viable options presented to us by our own personal spiritual support staff, your guides and angels. Remember that hope is not just something to have. Hope is something that you must give one another. Hope is a noun, but it's also a verb. We lift one another up by offering a glimmer of hope to those who have lost the ability to envision for themselves. So next time you find yourself uttering the words, "I hope so," I want you to take a moment and remember that on the other side, it's already being taken care of. Stay in that place when things get hard. Thank you for letting me share my messages with you today about hope.